I think we might be in for a bit of a lull, a bit of a break from all this nonsense in the media for a couple of weeks. I think they are going to rearrange a few bits and pieces and start whipping up a new frenzy for the 4th of July. That's my feeling on the American situation anyway, because the threats that we're seeing in the media about the militia taking Minneapolis or Minnesota back over. What do you mean take it back over? It was handed over to them by a councilwoman, so no one took it. This CHAZ, I can't remember, what does CHAZ stand for? Is it communists, hippies, Antifa and Zionists? I'm a bit offended by the hippies. I don't mind being labelled a bit of a hippie, you know what I mean? Everybody's got a bit of a hippie mindset, haven't they? But you know, I wish them luck, these people, if they think that they can make a go of something. But I think we all know ultimately those little plants that they've planted in their little farms, gardens, are going to get trampled by horses' hooves, and there'll be police horse hooves. I can't see, well, we don't know, do we? This script is, I wouldn't say it's forever changing, because they've been trying to make demons out of white men, especially for decades in America, and agitate them to a point where they react. Another interesting point about the statues is, you know, forget how they're coming down. It was part of the plan to remove them anyway. They wouldn't have been able to do it and actually remove the old symbols like they've done in every reset by public willing. They had to do it like this, so the end result is still the same. You know, they let the protesters do it. They let people do this, let people march, let people do the other stuff, you know. Therefore, they don't have to remove those old symbols themselves. It serves this plan incredibly well. And it happens on every reset. Happens with, God, it's happened in recent history. You know, statue toppling's nothing new, is it? But I find it sad that they can't get to the people that still represent, you know, the nasties. So I do feel that we might be in for a bit of a lull for a couple of weeks, that we're going to get the whip up and the usual. It won't be out of the press, that's not what I mean, but as in sort of, what are we looking at? What's the next big thing they want us to focus on? It's got to be America on the 4th of July, isn't it? Unless some random incident comes along. So, well, let's hope there's a bit of a lull, because it's, you know, it's not nice, is it? Sitting there thinking, well, it'd be lovely not to, but not to watch this stuff, not for it to be thrust upon you day after day after day, and for there to be just information about other parts of the world that just seem to be doing well, or some good news, you know. Doesn't seem to be much of that at the moment. But what we've got to all do is create good news on an individual level. Spain are allowing people to travel beyond, so they say, the Schengen zone in Europe, which means across borders, France, Portugal, etc. So we can affect a change if we want to, which is good news. Whether we can do it swiftly and quickly is another thing, but it's certainly on the horizon, because if there's an opportunity to grab something better, that applies to everybody. If there's an opportunity to grab something better, something more secure, something, it doesn't matter if you've got to downsize or upsize to get it. It doesn't matter if you've got to drop a vehicle make or model or engine size, and as long as you can see a way through this, if you can pick a clear future for yourself, then that's really all you can do, I believe. People's jobs are, if you've got a job and you're listening to me, fantastic. Do everything you can to keep that job, you know, and try and save as much money as possible. I'm not being patronising, but just try and invest into the things that are going to improve your quality of life at home. And by that, I've said this before, we're talking food, we're talking energy, we're talking the things that a human being as a organic robot cannot function without. The most very basics need to be covered, and then once those are covered, then life becomes a little bit easier, peace of mind is there, and the investment, you'll find, grows in many different ways. Cheers everyone. Cheers. Cheers.